What's up, guys? I'm Red,
I'm still Steve.
and this is our weekly Monday Night Raw review. It is Memorial Day. The date is Monday, May the 26th. And we just watched a great Monday Night Raw
Yes, we
coming
did.
out of
Yes, we
Tampa,
did.
Florida, following Saturday night's main event. So, we're going to go through, if you've never watched one of our reviews before, they're fairly quick. We do something called Screw and Poo. Pretty much an up and down kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if we like the event, we say it's Screw, it's exclusive. If we didn't like it and it's Poo segment or a match, we'll give it its rating. At the end of the show, or at the end of the broadcast here, we're live as well, so we got viewers going. Everything will be uploaded to YouTube. We'll give you a rating.
Yep.
So,
Out of 10.
Out of 10, what we thought, just our overall thoughts.
Yep.
So, let's start this off.
Without further ado,
We always we head over to the Exclusive John Wrestling Instagram page.
that's where all those updates are.
This is where all of our clips are from the weekly shows. We do this on Mondays and Fridays, and we just kind of go and see, what happened and judge them as it goes. So we opened up with a promo from Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and the newest member of this faction, Big Bronson Reed. So, I'll let you get us started. What did you think of this promo? Was it Screw? Was it Poo?
It was Screw because a microphone was handed to Paul Heyman. That's it.
Yep.
I mean, that's all you need. That could be the screwest of screws. I mean, this guy has what it's. I mean, it's Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
He did a great job. I think Seth did a great job. They hyped up their faction as a whole. Whether it's Braun Breaker being a mean SOB or Bronson Reed doing all this damage to Seth Rollins, which I'm glad that they talked about because the whole time beforehand was like, why is Bronson Reed joining Seth Rollins, who he literally put on a shelf for weeks on weeks on weeks?
Yeah. I definitely agree with you there. So I'm going to give this a Screw as well.
Hell yeah.
There was a couple things to take away from this segment right here. So, number one, they're coming for power. It was the big message here. So they're coming to take over, to revolutionize the industry, right? Thing number two, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is in a qualifier tonight. Was in a qualifier. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. For the Money in the Bank. So he vows that he's going to win this qualifier, go to Money in the Bank, get the briefcase, cash in anywhere, anytime.
On Jay or John.
And he's got this whole crew behind him, and he's pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah.
So this was definitely a Screw.
Looks like we got a early rating from Moy Bengoche. I give it a 7 out of 10. We'll give our rating at the end of our review, but I don't hate the rating.
Mikey said, hey, Paul hypes everyone up. Paul is the GOAT.
Yeah. I mean, he said it on First Take himself. He's the GOAT. The greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's strange how much Punk needs to go head-to-head with Seth? In every brawl, he outnumbers Seth and uses chairs, of course, to show that Seth needs a third member.
Well, things are definitely interesting now because we got that third member, and, we don't really know where all this is going, considering we thought Roman was going to come back before Money in the Bank. There's only a couple spots left.
We're running out of time for that.
There's a lot of moving pieces here, But we're going to move on from this now. We like to keep things in quick. Next, we had a qualifying match for Money in the Bank. This was against Dragon Lee, Penta, and Chad Gable.
Great match.
This was a Screw, in my eyes. Very Screw match.
The winner gives it a Screw automatically.
Yeah, Penta won this match. He qualified for Money in the Bank. Let's just say things are going to be pretty exclusive at Money in the Bank with him in there.
Oh, yeah.
We got another rating, an 8 out of 10 for the show.
Shout out Mikey Hoff, 99.
Yeah.
We'll give our official ratings at the end.
Yeah. So a couple things to take away from this here. So we saw Vikingo from AAA in the crowd, which I'm going to say now, I don't like that Chad Gable was in this match. I get what they're doing, trying to hype up him and Vikingo in AAA.
Sense.
But we automatically knew he wasn't going to win because he has a match the same day.
Yeah.
Already scheduled.
I think if you wanted to have Chad Gable in this match, I'm breaking kayfabe here. You should have had El Grande Americano in the match. Because then you could be like, okay, maybe Chad Gable's pulling double duty, and he's going to be El Grande Americano in Money in the Bank, and Chad Gable at Worlds Collide. But now, Chad Gable just being Chad Gable, you know he's not pulling double duty.
Yeah. Let's see, Charles. I agree. I think it was gonna get interesting. Said Penta was awesome. He's got the moves. Yeah, Penta is great. And seeing him and Dragon Lee in a ring together, I'd like to see it one-on-one, honestly, down the line, because both of them are extremely talented.
Yeah, Dragon Lee is very underrated.
But I'll give this a screw.
Screw.
And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the whole thing. So next we had a return. A short return, but we had Liv Morgan return to the Judgment Day Clubhouse, and she walks in. Roxanne Perez is risen up Dom with chicken nuggets.
She gave her the finger.
And, I mean, there wasn't really much going on here, but we see, Dom is getting the new one. He's adding a stone to the gauntlet here. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. We did have something else of this kind of later in the night, but glad to have Liv Morgan back.
Oh, yeah.
Give this a screw.
I'll give it a screw. Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add?
I think you pretty much spelled it out right there. I mean, I think I just don't know how Dom gets caught lacking. He may be pulling all these girls, but he always gets caught with these girls. You might have game, but you can't have no game if you're going to get caught lacking a week later.
Yeah, I'll never forget that time he was Liv Morgan was stretching him out, and all of them popped their heads around the corner.
Now that's cool.
that was a good segment. Next, we had a fun backstage segment. Two comedians that we really love, Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura. You can check them out. Two Bears, One Cave podcast. Both have Netflix specials going on.
Yeah, like they need a shout out from us.
Yeah. But they're getting it anyway, goddammit. They had a funny backstage segment, though, with the War Raiders and stuff. It was cool.
War.
You know what I just realized, dude? We never made a post that the New Day won that match or anything. Whoops. Anyway, they had a match after that, and honestly, it didn't even deserve a real because the match was not that good.
I'm gonna give it a poo.
I'm gonna give it this segment with them gets a big screw.
Yeah, that's a screw.
This whole match gets a poo because we had an opportunity for a triple threat match, a title change, something big, something cool.
It was very fast too.
It was a quick match. They acted like this was gonna main event.
Yeah.
It comes middle of the show. Half the entrances are during commercial. The match is maybe 10 minutes, and the New Day just steal the win just like that.
A roll-up
win. So this was a big poo in my eyes.
Yep.
Next up, Rusev versus Akira Tozawa. This was very fast. This was a squash match.
Match poo. I don't like squash matches, but what it's set up.
Yeah, the whole segment of just the whole storyline with him and I don't think that he needs to be doing things with them. Yeah. I don't know how to elevate. Yeah, he said that match was a 3 out of 10. Perez is suspicious. Yeah. That whole thing with, the Alpha Babes and Rusev, Rusev should be elevated a lot higher. I don't know what you do with the Alpha Babes necessarily, but
they might be on the next round of cuts. And
yeah.
I really, really do like Otis, and if he was taken serious, he could be a fantastic mid-card level threat.
I think Maxine Dupree stays. I think the other ones could get released. They may need.
Are you talking about Natalia? You want to cut Natalia?
Natalia's not involved in the maiden segment.
She was there this week.
Anyway, let's jump through here. Sheamus came out after the attack after the match from Rusev Tozawa, and we didn't get much here, but we got a really good stare down. Two members of a former faction. The League of Nations, I believe.
We were waiting. We were begging. We knew it wasn't going to happen, but we were begging for Alberto Del Rio's music to hit, maybe even Wade's music to hit. Be like, oh, look at this little reunion.
Yeah, maybe down the line they could do it.
It's possible. Everyone is under contract. Yeah. It's possible.
So Bruce versus Sheamus is going to be amazing. I'm hyped for that. I'm hyped for that too. I think this is a great actual feud for Rusev.
Yeah.
I think he put Rusev over in the end to give him some hype for the main roster.
Yeah.
I don't like Sheamus losing and coming back either. But at the same time, I think
Rusev's just getting started.
I think that this is going to be a very good feud, and I think we have some just great singles matches out of it through our couple on Monday Night Raw. After that, we had another backstage segment with Liv Morgan and Kairi Sane. They kind of talked
This is what set up their match tonight.
Yeah, they talked a little trash, ended up challenging each other for a match. This was Scaloo.
Yeah, something quick. We have that was the main thing that I've kind of had a gripe about Raw this past couple weeks is because every contender for Io Sky is either in the qualifying match or not on Raw right now. So I did like that we had some sort of, banter between champion and challenger.
Yeah.
I was afraid that Io Sky was going to get, kind of mixed in the wash during Money in the Bank.
Yeah. I'll give this a clue, though. I think it was good. They did have a match later that night, but directly following this segment, we had a Jey Uso came out.
Oh, hold on, we gotta check Cross's IG post here.
What happened here? We got a new post from Karrion Kross.
Let's see here what we got. Is this is this what you're talking about? If it is, we have seen this already.
It looks like he just collabed with someone on it, which is awesome, though.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, though. We'd love to see it. We'd love to see it. But with a little Jay and Gunther promo, I'm going to give this a poo, actually.
Oh, really?
It's not that I'm not, like, interested in it, but I've seen this match so many times now that I'm kind of over it. And, Jay just got his belt. I want to see him have it for a little longer. Like, I don't want Gunther to just take it back instantaneously at his first chance. I don't know. I'm not a big fan that they announced this.
Going back to it.
They're going back to it, and then if they would have had it right away... If they would have had it right away, I would have been okay with it. This is a month later. This is like a month in advance, So there we are, I don't know.
Okay, I see what you're talking about now. We had somebody else take
Oh, wow.
our reaction and putting it onto their story saying, I'm so tired of Real Killer Cross only being on the screen for 2 minutes each weekend, not ring in major events. I'm tired of it. WWE, you are wasting your time and mine not putting him into more of the show. Not putting a belt on him. He's a superstar, and I don't get why he's not getting the push he deserves. As a fan of pro wrestling for 45 years now, seriously, who at WWE doesn't get how this works?
Big facts.
Shout out to CH Tonic Professor on Instagram.
Thank you for sharing our stuff.
We'll go ahead and like that up. Oh, we already did.
I must have just tapped through that, not even thinking.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
So we are Karrion Kross's story twice tonight. And we got fans seeing because our reaction definitely spelled what he was saying.
Yeah. We were excited just to see him because we haven't seen him in weeks.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back to this. We're going to come back to this in just a second, but I'm going to give this segment a poo. I'll give it a poo as well.
I
like the segment, but I don't like what they're doing here 2 weeks out after Money in the Bank, same opponent.
I'm not going to diss their strength on the microphone. We know that they can cut promos. It's the fact that we've seen this all the way before WrestleMania, just during their hype up for that first match, let alone here we are now. It's almost Money in the Bank. We're pushing June, and we're still here doing this.
Yeah. So that was that. Not too much to say about it, really. Next, we did have the match between Kairi Sane and Liv Morgan. I'll give this a sklew.
It was a sklew match.
This was Kairi Sane's first... Well, no, this is her first victory. She did have a qualifying match that she lost last week where Zoe got injured and Rhea picked up the win. But It was good. And technically here, Raquel cost Liv the match by accident because she was ever focusing on Roxanne Perez that was trying to help. It was a whole thing. But we'll give it a clue. Yeah. I'm happy to see where this goes.
Yeah. I'm glad that Roxanne Perez didn't get the blame on that loss because, to be honest, she helped. Raquel was too busy worrying about other problems where she could have taken advantage. They're heels. Things like that happen. You have to just go with the flow.
Yeah, definitely. After that, we had a Mommy in the Bank promo. Not much to say about this, but a big sclew.
Her hyping up that she's going to win the match. It's pretty much all it is. Give it a sclew. We want Mommy in the Bank. Who doesn't? There's not really anybody else in that match right now that I would want over her.
Mm-hmm. Now, this next thing, I'm also going to give a big sclew. This was during commercial, but this was AJ Styles, Vikingo, backstage, had a little...
Chad Gable, Vikingo.
Excuse me.
AJ Styles interrupts.
Correct. So, I like the thing with Gable and Vikingo, and then we see AJ Styles out of nowhere to come and lay him out, and I like this.
Yeah, it was. I was not expecting that direction for AJ Styles at all.
almost feel like it was kind of a cheap shot.
Yeah.
I feel like Karrion would have liked this.
Yeah. Karrion might have been in the back the whole time smiling. We have no idea.
You know what I mean? Because like the last we saw of Karrion, he was in AJ Styles' head for real.
Yeah.
So definitely could be something there.
Yeah.
But even if it's not, even if it's just, a face doing something to a heel, it was a screw for me.
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah, then we had Liv Morgan back there complaining about what happened.
Yep, and this is when Raquel gets kind of thrown under the bus here.
Yeah, this was another screw moment. Yeah. I like, something's happening here.
I would have given this a poo if she would have turned on Roxanne and said, hey, why did you do that? But she was a realist and said, hey, hold on. Roxanne technically did help.
She said, you're a veteran, Raquel.
Yeah,
this is on you.
Yeah.
So, I agree with this. We then had a thing with Lyra and Becky, a little promo here.
Yeah. Pretty much just having if Becky wins, Lyra has to lift her.
I'm gonna give us the poo.
That's pretty much to sum it up. Yeah, it's not really anything.
I'm gonna give us a poo because that's like their kind of stipulation for this. Doesn't get me that involved.
Yeah, I don't really care.
I think that if they're gonna do this again and it's at Money in the Bank, I like this. I get Money in the Bank. There's 2 stipulations, but guess what? A Royal Rumble there was 2 Rumble match stipulations. We still had a 2 out of 3 falls match and a ladder match.
Yeah.
So, and we were there, and it was fucking screwed.
It was awesome.
So
it's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, they should be. I think it's time for a stipulation, not just a singles match here. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. You could do a steel cage, though. You could do balls count.
Rules.
Balls count anywhere or something. Extreme rules. Something. Give us something. It doesn't have to be Clockwork Orange Funhouse or anything crazy that we haven't seen in forever. I'm just something better than this.
Yeah.
So for that,
poo.
Big poo. Now we are on what we've been talking about through a lot of this video. This Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross backstage promo. Yes. This was a big screw. Obviously, anything with Kross in it on my screen is most likely going to be a screw.
Yeah.
The poo factor, like we've been talking about, is the fact that he is not in matches. He's not in the ring. There's really no real direction here of what's going on.
Yep. Mikey also agrees with our Becky and Lyra, saying it's a poo, 2 out of 10. Not a lot much there. But I do agree with you. Yeah, like we need more there than just him being on screen for 2 minutes. It's at least a 2.5-hour show. He should not just be sitting there saying, "Hey, I told you so" at certain people throughout the entire show.
Yeah.
He should have a match, whether it's a qualifier or whatever. He should be in it.
Yeah.
And we'll also mention there's a little something behind the scenes that we didn't know until our boy Mikey Hoff saw it on one of our posts. Grayson Waller and the New Day were behind the scenes, behind Sammy and Karrion, kind of scheming, and we're wondering what that might be.
It's definitely interesting. It is interesting that Karrion was like, "You're never gonna win a title." Sammy's like, "I'll deal with you later." I think a feud with them would be good.
Yeah,
I do. And like Karrion's definitely the heel, but I don't. Karrion's another one of these people that we talked about. We didn't talk about in this video while we were live. We talked with our viewers. They're not going to be looked at as a heel like that.
Yeah.
If anything, I don't know. They need a heel that people don't like.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard.
I mean, I want these guys. Like, if Cross pulled a Wyatt Six. I mean, Wyatt Six are listed as baby faces, but they came out here and destroyed every tag team in the SmackDown roster. But yet here we are still rooting for him. I think that's kind of what most of the heels on Raw are nowadays, where like they're listed as bad guys, they do bad things, but people still love them.
And we didn't even see Karrion Kross last week.
Yeah, or the week before.
Yeah, like it's just ridiculous, that he is not on here every week. And that if you're gonna do a storyline with him, give him some actual matches. I want to see him wrestle. He's a wrestler, and make something happen here. His last real storyline was against the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, and that was before AOP got cut.
It was actual wrestling, right? Not just in the backstage, not just behind people showing his T-shirts, that kind of thing.
What's up, Teddy? Oh, you're a little late to the show. Go ahead and watch the show, and then after that, go over to our YouTube. We'll be posting the Raw review, and
we're airing the Raw review right now.
You're watching a little sneak peek.
If you just want to check out the highlights of the show, all the clips, head over to our Instagram that you're already on right now. We got all those uploaded with our reactions to them. But I will still give this a screw.
Yep.
Just because
I do wonder what Waller and New Day will be doing.
Yeah, I do wonder that too.
Mikey Hoff thinks that Waller is scheming against Theory. I could see it.
I definitely could see it.
I just don't know how you would scheme against a guy like that with a tag team champions. I feel like this has to be helping Theory. and then after that ruining it, I just don't know. It's really kind of weird.
Yeah, so our review was running a little bit longer than we'd like now, so we're on the last thing here. We're on the main event of the evening. It was a qualifying match between Seth freaking Rollins, Finn Balor, and of course Sami Zayn. It was a good match. We enjoyed the match. I'm gonna definitely give this a screw. The whole match, the whole segment afterwards was
every facet of it. I mean, the match itself, the storyline set up, the build, it was awesome.
Yeah. So essentially, we had a great match. We had Dominic come out, try to toss Finn a chair to help him. Now, mind you, he hasn't been out here to help him in the past few weeks.
Yeah, this is the first time he's really actually helped him.
Yeah. And the chair is on the ground. He can't even pick it up. He goes to pick it up. He gets curb stomped, right?
Immediately. At this point, Braun and Bronson have already been out.
Yeah, that's correct. So Braun and Bronson are already out. They're trying to help Seth.
Jey
Uso comes. He ends up getting speared. And, essentially all this going on, Seth Rollins picks up the win.
Yeah, shocker.
He's heading there to Money in the Bank. So he did do what he promised. He did qualify. And after that, we were we didn't know what to expect because it was still an outnumbered game. You had
we were expecting somebody, whether it's Roman or CM Punk.
CM Punk comes out.
Music hits.
They go in the wrong direction on the ramp, trying to find him. Talking about Paul and Bronson and Braun. He comes around, hits Seth with a GTS, runs into the crowd. Show ends. He's like this.
Seth's laid out.
We hear the badum.
Yep.
So
this makes us wonder if we're gonna have a CM Punk qualifying match next week, which makes us worry about Karrion. I mean, we have a SmackDown qualifier this Friday, which will probably be Jacob Fatu, and then Monday will be the last spot, whether that's Karrion Kross, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. I mean, anybody from the Raw roster. And it's making me worry that Karrion Kross might not be in this Money in the Bank match now that Seth is qualified.
Yeah, things are definitely getting strange, I should say. Because you have such a stacked roster, and like we did talk about how there could be a possibility to where someone gets added as a seventh man. So that would happen before.
Yeah.
And if anybody can just walk in and get added, it's Roman Reigns.
Yeah. Roman Reigns.
At that point, Karrion Kross doesn't fit into this whatsoever because one of the winners is most likely going to be CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Or LA Knight.
Although, I personally don't want one of them to win this match. They don't need it.
Yeah, they don't need it at all.
And you give it to a Karrion, you give it to a LA Knight, I definitely don't think Penta wins.
Solo.
I would not mind a solo one. I wouldn't mind if Fatu held the U.S. title and the briefcase at the same time.
Yeah.
It'd be something you don't really see that much, and I'd be completely down for it.
Yeah.
But overall, that whole thing was screw. If you guys want us to talk more in depth about predictions for Money in the Bank, our thoughts on the card, you won't have to wait long because it's only 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
And we will be doing a predictions video.
For sure.
So, I guess it's time to give our rating for the show.
So, I think we had a 7 out of 10 and an 8 out of 10 in the chat so far. That's probably a safe bet around there. I think I'm going to go 8 out of 10.
I was going to agree with you, actually. I'm going to go 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 as well. There's not much that could have really been better with the show. We had a lot of good things.
Safe expectations.
Yeah, safe expectations. I'm glad we got Punk still. I'm glad we saw Karrion at least.
Yep.
We had some good matches. Not really much. I don't really have too many complaints about it.
Yeah, if anybody in the chat right now wants to give their rating to the show that they've already seen out of 10, go ahead and leave it in the comments. We will put it in our video, but you're running out of time. We gave our ratings. Not going to be here much longer. The show was definitely good, like you said. There really wasn't a lot to complain about, and I'm just glad that Karrion Kross got TV time. That was my big thing. I mean, it would have been the 3rd week in a row without him on TV, even on commercial. He at least had that for a while. And then,
this was off commercial. Am I right?
This was off commercial. Commercial. Everybody should have seen this. So I am glad about that. I'm glad about Punk coming back. 8 out of 10 sounds about right for the EJW exclusive Johns.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys watching the Raw review. We're going to wrap it up now. check us out. You'll see us again this Friday, Friday Night SmackDown. We will be live as always on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch. We'll probably be adding some new platforms in there too, possibly as early as this Friday. And we will post the clips. We'll go ahead and do our reviews on Friday and stuff. If you guys missed anything, of course, go ahead, check out the page. Also, you'll notice this little QR code up here. That is our WWE Shop affiliate code. If you scan that, it takes you straight to the website. That will get you the most exclusive merch, exclusive deals from the exclusive Johns.
Hell yeah.
I see another 8 out of 10 here. We definitely appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, follow. Check us out more, man. Thank you all for watching, joining our live. Shout out to everybody that, interacted and stuff, of course.
It's definitely the most we've gotten interaction-wise during a review. We're glad. Keep it coming. We'll keep the reviews coming.
For sure, for sure. I'm Red.
I'm Son of Steve.
As always, keep it exclusive. Thanks, guys.
See y'all.